Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Will?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Hello. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good.
That's not what I wanted. My
Why not?
my phone's being dumb.
Oh. Can't have a dumb phone.
I'm trying to turn down the music and stuff so we don't get copyrighted, but
No.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to get copyrighted.
No, I don't want to get copyrighted. So the title of our podcast right now says 2024 Team Associated Summer Series Round 3, but I'll edit it later.
Okay.
We haven't been on in like a month and a half. I feel so weird.
Yeah. That's not. Yeah. It is kind of weird that we haven't been on in so long.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, that's okay. Full disclosure, Will's internet connection might not be the best today, but we're going to see what happens. We're going to deal with it.
Yeah. Maybe I should have bought some from that guy that came one time. Some extra internet.
Extra internet. Were we calling you Wi-Fi Willie?
Yeah, Big Willie Wi-Fi.
Big Willie Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Well,
dude, we've had really good internet for a while. I just don't know what the deal is. Like,
oh my gosh, there we go. Yeah, and then
it's like I have one of those yak backs.
Yeah.
Remember those? Like you say swears into it when you're a kid.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
Make it record the swears real quick.
Yep.
But like they know that that's all kids are going to use those for is for swears.
Yeah. Hang on a second. This is really cold, and I've been waiting. I rode my scooter down here today, so it took an extra like 15 minutes.
Yeah, then you almost died.
I've actually had some close calls this year on my bike. The last 2 years have been really good, and then all of a sudden, a couple weeks ago, I got across Blair High Road, Highway 133, 4 lanes at a stoplight, and if I wasn't watching, because I always watch, I always double check before I go straight because I've seen too many accidents up there, and if I wasn't paying attention, this brown Subaru would have just cleaned me out. And I saw him coming, and I let him run the red light. And then he figured out that he was running the red light, and then he screeched on his brakes, and he stopped past the red light. And then he looked at me, and I just kind of shrugged my shoulders like, I mean, you should have just kept going. You know, you're already through.
Yeah. When was this?
About a month ago now. It's on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then coming here just today, there was a half-open manhole that I just happened to see in time, and I got out of the way. You know, steered away from it real fast.
How do you have a manhole half open? It's either open or not.
Well, no, it's flat, right? It was like this in the ground.
Oh.
So it's literally half open.
Interesting.
Or sideways. The lid was sideways, still in the manhole.
Oh, like it was like a coin that was too big to fit in the slot.
Yeah. Yep.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So that would have been bad. That would have hurt.
Yeah, you gotta have coins that fit in the slots.
Well, since we haven't been on in a while, we might as well introduce ourselves.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I'm Alex Sturgeon, manager race director of the Hobbytown Hobbyplex in Omaha, Nebraska. And with me, as always,
Will Brenton.
And he is not manager at the Hobbyplex. He is
Nope.
He has got a real job, and he races RC cars as well as makes things.
Yeah, sometimes.
He makes things.
Yeah.
Yesterday and this weekend, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't not wait to podcast. I want to podcast so bad because
so bad.
I got a lot to talk about. And then now that I've sort of now that the race weekend is over with, I'm kind of
not wanting to talk.
Now all of a sudden I kind of forgot what I wanted to talk about so much.
Oh, nice.
But we've had a busy month
Oh
basically the whole
yeah,
month of May.
it was
We haven't
definitely busy.
we haven't talked to each other since on here
No,
at least on
yeah,
here.
not really. No, not really.
So what have you been doing?
Um, working, and trying to get ready for oval races. I want to get a trailer. I want to get a race trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be cool.
You're not a
That'd be
legit
cool.
oval racer or 8-scale racer unless you have a trailer.
You gotta have a trailer. I
If
mean,
that
you need one.
if those are your two genres, you've got to have a trailer. Otherwise, you're not a legit guy.
Dude, you save so much time with a trailer, just like trailering your stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an easy hour you gain
Yeah,
just by having a trailer.
from not having to set up.
Yeah, not having to set up a easy up and screw around with stuff. And I mean, the trailer setup is nice,
Mm-hmm.
very nice. Really go for that trailer.
So why do you need a trailer? You're obviously racing outside then. So where have you raced outside in the last over the last month?
Uh, weeks ago, and that went okay.
Where'd you go? You kind of
Um,
like potatoed out there.
oh, nice. I went to Grand Island
Okay.
a couple weeks ago, and that was okay. Um, then, like last weekend, I went to uh, Layton, Iowa
And
to race.
that was for the Wild Bill race, is that right?
Yeah, it was for the old Wild Bill, doing it for Bill that weekend.
And
I don't know what I was doing.
that was Wild Bill from Wild Bill's hobby shop and racetrack. Am I correct?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just passed away
Mhm.
recently.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I don't know if I ever knew him. I
I,
didn't. I don't know if I ever met him, but sounds like he had a lot of people that liked him.
oh yeah,
So that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Hopefully, that many people like me when I die.
Tell me about it. I probably have met him. I thought I turned that off. I probably have met him at some point, but it must have been when I was a kid because I don't necessarily remember it.
Was he super wild back then?
I don't know. You have to ask Bill Fasty. I think
Yeah.
Fasty and Rico, those guys. I'm sure.
I'm sure it was just like a funny nickname. He was probably very cool, calm, and collected. Nothing wild. I always think but names like that are funny. Like, check out, Tiny, and it's like a big fat guy, Or like
Yeah.
Wild Bill, and he's this really even keeled guy.
Yeah. Or most tiny guys are like big when they call them tiny.
Yeah. That's why I said that.
Yeah, I know. No, I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, that was the joke. These are the jokes.
Oh, sorry. I've been trying to write jokes and it's really hard because I don't know. I'm not funny.
Dude, I came up with a really good 1 minute. You want to hear it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so, um, like, so Dr. Pepper has 23 flavors. What are they? So I was drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper the other day, and I had to stop. And it's like, what are they? Like some doctors making soda, and if I want to know what flavors I'm putting in my body, he should be able to tell me each one of these 23 original flavors. Like, I mean, if I ask him, he should be able to tell me. Like, it doesn't say like what the flavors are. So I was trying to pick them out, and I was like, are there even 23 flavors around to put in a soda? Like, that's a whole lot of flavor. So, I don't know. I guess it wasn't that funny.
I think knowing that wasn't that funny is what makes that funny all of a sudden.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. You could just like make up some flavors.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's gonna be like buttholes and like
Worcestershire.
yeah, barbecue.
Nutmeg.
Yeah, barbecue's got to be in there, I'm sure.
Yeah. Thyme.
Yeah, because isn't like Dr. Pepper like barbecue soda?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I always thought of it as like a fruity root beer.
I totally think that Dr. Pepper is such a bullshit thing saying it has 23 flavors in it, because if you mix together equal parts of cola and root beer, it tastes just like fucking just like Dr. Pepper. Like, if you've ever done it, you should do it. Dude, you should do a taste test challenge. Equal parts Dr. Pepper, equal parts uh uh Coke and root beer. So just open like a Barks root beer and a cola and dump them together, and I guarantee it tastes like Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
You will not be able to tell the difference.
I miss Dr. Slice. Have I talked about that before? It's one of my favorite drinks growing up.
I used to drink that and Ruby Red. Remember Ruby Red
I
Slice?
do. Yeah.
That was a good one.
It turned your tongue all sorts of fun colors. So, how did you do? How did you do at how did
Wild
you do at
Bill's?
Layton? Yeah.
Terrible. Just terrible.
That race, I looked it up. That race had almost 220 entries, and you guys didn't get done racing until like 1:30. It was like a Techno Series race.
Yeah. I don't know if they were necessarily ready for the amount of people they had. Their heart was in the right place with the way they were doing qualifying, and it was cool, but I just don't think it lended itself well to RC, like for seeding, that is, because seeding's so important. Like, in off-road, you seed, but the seeding round doesn't matter. It's just seeding. It doesn't, like, it's not used for a tiebreaker or anything like that. But seeding is in oval is used to where, like, it's a factor for what main you end up in.
Yeah, because isn't it if there's a tie in race points, then the seed time is what's important?
Oh yeah. Yep. But like at the Chili Bowl, the seed time is always factored in.
Yeah.
There is no tiebreaker.
Oh, okay.
So, like that is just like that's the great equalizer, because no two people can have the same seed time, really.
Mm-hmm.
So, trying to think here, like so yeah, I seeded decent in sprint car. I don't even know where I seated, but it's probably like upwards of mid pack, so not terrible. But the way they did it is they were doing it like full size racing, where you get like a push off or like a push start. Like they didn't have like somebody pushing you, but you'd go out. That's like your out lap. You'd make one lap and then one more. You'd only get 2 laps, and essentially you'd only get one.
Mm-hmm.
So because you get like the first lap, you're still trying to get up to speed, really, but. I mean, it was interesting. It was kind of neat. Nobody's ever done that before. So, I mean, it was kind of neat to see see somebody do something different. But, I mean, I just don't think that format lended itself. And there's a pill draw, and honestly, I didn't really understand the race format, like how they were doing it. I just trusted them, and I'm sure they did it the way they said they were going to. I'm not even complaining. I'm just thinking that maybe that race format just doesn't lend itself well to RC car racing.
Yeah.
But it was kind of neat to see somebody try something different. So that's kind of neat. But so I seated okay in sprint car. My first heat, like I think my tires were too tall because we had to run sprinters. And sprinters is a good tire when you get them low. Like they need to be like quarter pin, and then they're pretty much just a bar tire, and then they work really well. But I just don't think I had them low enough initially. And then the second heat, because I didn't have my car like set up very well for outdoors, and I thought I did, but there was just so much else I needed to do,
Sure.
like wing heights. I mean, I would have had to buy a bunch more stuff to get it there, which is okay. I'm not complaining. I didn't know what a good outdoor sprint car is supposed to look like, but now
Yeah.
I do. And like when I've tuned my speed controls, they've always been on tracks with a lot of grip, so it's like you're trying to keep it from doing wheelies and a bunch of other stuff. Well, outside, it's not as easy to rip wheelies. I mean, you can do it, but it's not as easy. So, it's like the power delivery and everything is totally different. So, um, there's that. Like, I need to work on getting my cars faster. So, I lost one of my runs because I had ruined my foams. I over foam bested them before the second heat, and I ended up just pulling off in sprint car. And then I didn't even practice with my late model because I didn't have time to do it.
Yeah.
Um, but my late model was going really good, and I made one lap, and I got taken out by a lapper, or not a lapper, but a car I was passing, and I had a body tuck,
Oof.
and I got a really bad Marshall, and I was like 3 laps down at the start of the race, and I passed everybody that was on the track, so I would have won that heat race.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I didn't end up on the lead lap, but I got like 2 of 3 of my laps back. And uh so there's that. So then I won my second heat, and then I was in the C main in late model, and then I won the C main and was in the B and was doing pretty good. And I just didn't catch those guys like for the transfer spot to get in the A.
Sure.
And then I ended up bumping into the C main and sprint car, and I was in a good spot. I was in third, following second, and was going to pass second. And a car, I don't know whose car it was. It might have even been second place. Went kind of wide, and they hit all the loose stuff. It was actually an off road guy that just started racing oval, and should probably know better. If you're listening, you know who you are. But they squid it out and just like hit my car. My car just flipped end over end all the way down the straightaway, and it was over.
Lame.
Yep. So, oh well. So that's
Yeah.
how my weekend went.
Look, I mean, there was a buttload of there was a lot of mod sprints I saw.
Yeah.
I looked through the sprints. I forgot that you would run late model, so I didn't even look at late model to see where you were at. But I was keeping track of you while I was at the INS race this weekend.
Right. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I just need to get it. I need to get it figured out where I'm not on my heels like as soon as I put my car down. Like
Yeah.
I didn't even really necessarily have a setup on my car that was it was close, but I mean what's close? You could be off 2 or 3 tenths, and that's like 2 mains. So
Mm-hmm. Tell me about it.
yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of the track? Have you ever been there before?
Oh, that track was really nice. No, I'd never been there before. I'm gonna
very
go.
very popular place.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. I mean, that place was nice.
Yeah.
That was really nice oval. But
Very very popular place to go. Besides that, so you raced once in Grand Island, you went to Layton, and is that all you've been doing? Just those two?
yeah,
Are you getting geared up for anything new?
King of Dirt. I'm probably gonna go to Fastlane and club race some just to get ready for King of Dirt.
Okay.
So that'll be cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. So we've had a very busy month, obviously. I think the last time we were on here, we were talking about maybe the first round of Summer Series. We talked about the Pro Tech race, I think. It would have been the early part of May, right? Yeah. So the Pro Tech race was on. We've had 3 rounds of the Summer Series already. Because the Summer Series is short, I mean, there are some classes that are already kind of figured out just because of the way it landed. And then there's some classes that have the possibility of having some of the craziest ties and craziest Tieville.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I've actually talked about this. I'm like, there is a possibility that we might end up having co-champs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So if 2 classes end up the way, well, actually, one of the classes, it sounded like it was going to end up that way, but then I looked at it and I'm like, one of the tiebreakers is actually pretty bad. So, but in 40 plus mod, if Mac can TQ and win the last round, we would be tied, and I get second, we'd be tied.
Really?
We'd be tied in wins. We'd be tied in points. We'd be tied in throwouts. We'd be tied in TQ. There really would be, everything would be tied. So mathematically, I'm still under the gun, I guess you could say. I was trying to find. I want to talk about the INS race here. I'm sure I've got some people on here that want to hear that. Yeah, hey, if you're in the chat and you want an answer to our question, I know I haven't pushed this in a long time, but you can always send a super chat and we'll stop whatever we're doing and answer your question. Otherwise, we'll get to all the comments at the end when we get caught up with everything. I'm looking at some stuff here. Okay. That's where I know that guy from. So you know who Jimmy Keenan is?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's the guy that runs Send It, Dallas County Speedway.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, probably. Why? What's up?
Oh, nothing. He was the announcer this weekend.
Oh, really?
At the INS race. Yeah.
Nice.
I was just making sure all my facts were correct.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so we had 3 rounds of the summer series. The last one is going to be at the end of the month.
Okay.
And right after that, the Sunday, right after that, we start the track build for our INS race. And there'll be no racing in between that. And because we're doing a July 4th weekend, I think it's July 6th, there'll be a crawling event Saturday, which I haven't even promoted that well, so I'm going to have to get on that and make that happen.
Yeah, get on it.
But honestly, I don't want it to be that big either, because then it would be like forever.
Oh, yeah. Can't be forever.
Yeah, it can't be forever. But I think we're going to do it at night.
Oh, a night crawl?
Last year we started it at 11, and it was really hot because it was July 4th weekend. And I think we're going to do it at night. I think we're going to start it at 7.
Yeah,
and
that'd
then
be cool.
Let the sun go down and kind of keep it kind of cooled off out there. That's the plan. Anyways.
Yeah, you need to find like a big worm or something to put on the ad or like on the flyer for the night crawl.
Night crawl.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called Flex at the Plex.
Oh.
And then night crawl. Interesting. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Thanks.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, like night crawlers.
Yeah. So, okay. So trying to find my train of thought here. So,
sorry.
So summer series coming up. We're going to, I'm going to change something out there for the finals. I just don't know what yet. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to go too crazy because obviously I'm going to be putting in 5 days of real work.
Oh yeah, you can't go too crazy.
Putting in the INS layout. So I don't want to change something and then have to change it all again like the next week.
Oh yeah.
We got rid of the split lane. And I kind of miss it a little bit.
You do?
I do. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think that was a pretty neat thing. I think it ended up being an okay thing. I think for the modified classes, especially mod 4-wheel, like one lane definitely was the faster lane because you could jump the pipe to the next corner. But
right.
In the stock classes though, it was pretty even keel. You could go either way and it was fast. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to put that one in my back pocket and maybe I'll use it again sometime. Something similar. I know you didn't get to race on it, but it was cool.
It looked cool.
It was neat.
I would have raced on it.
Yeah.
I would have raced my ass off on it.
It really was cool.
Yeah.
So, something crazy that's happening at the Plex that just started. So here, the store's been there for 20 years. It's going to get remodeled starting July 16th. Things are going to get a little crazy as far as the sales floor goes. We're not going to have any sort of organized racing for a little bit. The carpet track will be shut down. all that stuff. So I've been working on getting more TVs up. I got all of our TVs fixed. Like some of the components, like the HDMI splitters, they were bad, and so I had to get new ones. And then I actually got 2 computers thanks to Ben Dinger. He had 2 more of those like bank computers that banks have to get rid of every couple years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we got a couple of those, and that's how I got the back wall TV going again. The one underneath the windows.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna the next 2 weeks before any of the track build stuff happens, I'm gonna get the other TV up. So we're gonna have hopefully 2 TVs up hanging there. And I want to get some more stuff made. I just want to have the TVs up. That's one thing that Island Speedway, which we're going to talk about in a minute, they got TVs all over the place, which is really cool.
Yeah,
they kind of have to. I mean, they got people everywhere, pit space wise. You know, this facility that they're in, they've got all these different rooms, so they have to have TVs up, or we're kind of contained in one spot. But I still want to get more up. I'd like to get a Roku TV up too, so like we could turn on, maybe I can talk the crew into going for a Peacock membership. I think it's only like $5, so that we can like turn on motocross during the day and stuff.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Or just have sports on. That's one of the biggest complaints I hear about some of our weekend races is it's on during the Nebraska game, or it's on during NASCAR or something like that, and we don't have any way of putting that stuff up. Well, maybe that'll change. That's something that's been on my mind for a while, and I'd like to start, fixing that.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
It'd be more of a hang.
Yeah, exactly. But guess so we had all this bad rain, thunderstorms, stuff like that. Well, now all of a sudden, water is finding its way to seep in underneath of all 3 west garage doors during rainstorms. But it has to be a particular type. It has to be really, really windy from the northwest or from the west. And so if it's just a regular rain, I guess you could call it, it's not really that big of a deal. But with some of the really bad thunderstorms that we've gotten, water has gotten down on the track like 3 times now.
Really?
Yeah. So I've had to go down there and do the old outdoor track thing and like suck all the water out and then eventually broom it all off and then put a bunch of towels down to try to soak up all the water. I mean, that seems to work pretty good. But it's just like one more thing that I have to worry about now. So when I go with this track build, I'm going to try to make, how Thrasher came and did our basement once, and they had to cut the edge of our basement so the water goes down underneath and then it gets funneled to our
drain tile.
Yeah, kind of. But what's that thing you put in your basement?
Sump pump.
Sump pump. Yeah, it goes into our sump pump, and then our sump pump gets rid of it or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have to do something like that, I think, to make sure that if we get a really bad thunderstorm during the INS race, that we don't have like that end of the track pretty much underwater.
Oh yeah, that's
stupid.
A good idea.
Super stupid.
So what changed all that?
I think the building just changed.
Like it's settled.
Yeah, or the doors and the garage doors they've taken a beating.
Or the area around it
has also taken a beating. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like buildings and all the other stuff they're adding.
Yeah, everything kind of shifts. And wind changes. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, wind gets funneled different ways. And so one more thing that I'm going to have to worry about, but I'm going to try to fix it. So there's that. Okay, on to what I was going to talk about. So we had a really big race this weekend. Emerson and I went. The boys went. So all 5 of the boys were there. It was Emerson, TJ, Daniel Bender, Andrew Thomas, and Dalton Conrad. Who else was there from Josh McMullen, Chris Haida, Isabella McMullen. They were all there. Tyler Fleming was there. Yeah, there was a good crew. There was obviously Tom Redderneck was there running mod. He's been going there quite a bit. on the weeks leading up to this this race. This is I believe their biggest race they've had there now.
How many entries was it?
It ended up being 270 something.
Holy cow.
I think that was the official total. In fact, I can look that up. Because at first, so before all the people that didn't actually show up were taken out, I mean, it showed that it was like 300 plus.
Mm-hmm.
But once they finally got rid of those guys, the actual number, the actual number was there, and it was I remember looking at it, it was 270 something. I think it was like 129 people, which is pretty good. That's about normal for the INS stuff.
Mm-hmm.
See, there it is right there. Scroll down all the way to the bottom. Yeah, 274 entries, 127 people. Again, that's pretty much the usual that you see at these things. I think Hoosier one year had like over 300. I know we've had 270 and 280 a couple times now. Our race entry count right now is like at 260, and we still got a couple weeks before the cutoff. So, biggest class they had was what was it? I think at this one it was pretty close between the expert classes and the independent classes. I think there was 6 mains of independent buggy and 5 mains of expert buggy. And let me tell you, dude, the expert classes at this race were stacked. So I'm going to tell you how the boys did. So Emerson and Andrew were in the Bs, and let me make sure I know what I'm talking about here. God, there's a lot of things. They did do things a little different as far as practice and stuff goes. I do want to talk about that. I want to talk about it in a way where I don't sound like I'm complaining. Because I'm not really complaining, but it is different. There's expert. Who was in the D? Okay, Daniel Benner, Dalton Conrad. They were in the D. So was TJ. So, yeah. So the boys were Emerson, Andrew, Dalton, Daniel, and TJ. So 3 of the boys and expert 2-wheel were in there. I think Daniel got the bump up to... No, he didn't bump. He won... No, he didn't win either. What did he get a plaque for? It must have been for one of them. He got a plaque for one of them. Where's expert? There's the C main. Well, anyways, it doesn't matter. Here's the B main. Did you look at the results at all?
No, not yet. I just barely got home.
Okay, so here's the results of the expert 2-wheel drive B main. Emerson was really butthurt about this one because he was there. He was right there. I'm going to list off the names for you, and you tell me what you think, okay?
Okay.
Tyler Pattenout won the B. Nate Sutherland got second. They took 8 and 2 this time in the expert classes. Again.
Oh, they didn't do 10 and bump one?
No. So I want to talk about that too. And I'm not blaming anybody for that either, but I wish that we would just have it one way or the other. Chase Raymond, 3rd. Andrew Thomas, 4th. Alex Reese, 5. Jason Mayer, 6. Braden Nelson, 7. Cody Myford, 8th. Emerson pulled off. He got 9th, and Talon Henley was 10th, and he broke, I think. That's a fast group of B main dudes. I mean, there's 2 national championship racers in that race.
Oh, yeah.
2 national champion racers, okay? Emerson was battling with Tyler, Nate, Chase, Andrew. He was in 5th, then in 4th, but he crashed in this really difficult part of the track, and then the marshal was there. Unfortunately, the guy couldn't move very fast, and he was marshaling that spot. So it's kind of a weird situation. Kind of a sucky situation. Even if there was I was telling Emerson, I'm like, well, even if there was a quicker marshal there, you still crashed. Like you still needed a marshal.
Right.
That's nobody's fault but your own. Well,
Yeah.
then Emerson got frustrated. He crashed in the same spot like 2 laps later, and then was just
Yeah. As one does.
pissed, and so then he pulled off. Okay.
Yeah.
But Emerson was doing really good. He had everybody had a bad race and then 2 decent qualifiers, and then Emerson's last 2 qualifiers were his best 2 in both 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive.
Nice.
So I told him, I'm like, dude, being in the B main at this race is nothing to be bummed out about at all.
Yeah.
So the B main was kind of the same way. Talon Henley won. Doug LaRiviere was second. They got the bump. Chase Raymond.
Who won?
Talon Henley.
Oh, okay.
Eddie Henley from Hoosiers Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chase Raymond was third. Braden Nelson was fourth. I'm going to kill this name. Kalis Lowe was fifth. Emerson was sixth. I'm glad he finished because he did the same thing. He crashed, and I was like, don't pull off. Just finish your race because he's really fast. Andrew was seventh. And then Cole Wilson, Evan Cook, and Jamie Thompson. Again, that is a stacked B main. The C main was pretty stacked, you know? And so even though they didn't make the A, I feel like they had progression. Because if you look at where they were the last INS race that we were at, Emerson made the A at the finals. Got to give him that. The boys dominated independent. Okay. But Emerson at Hoosier was in the D. So the fact that he's now in the B, I think is good. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's not going to happen like in a year.
He's ticked off he didn't make the A, and I'm glad.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, you're only like, oh, okay.
I hope that gives
my
him
participation thing.
Yeah, exactly. I hope that gives him some drive, but you know,
I got my ass kicked this weekend. I trade with him.
Well,
tell him I said that.
Yeah. Speaking of ass kicking, here's your mod 2-wheel B main. Charlie Diekman, Caden Berding, Braden Koob, me. Brent Telke 5th. And then that's in 2-wheel mod though. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Craig O'Brien, John, oh God, I'm going to kill it. Eidsmo. And then Eddie Henley was there. Mello was there. Max Stumpf, Garrett Laundry. Now, they ran 11 because if they had a few more cars, they would have ran a C main, but they didn't need to because once they pulled everybody out, that actually wasn't there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad. I'm actually quite happy. I ran 2-wheel mod to get more track time for 40 plus.
Right.
I ran 2-wheel mod so I could break in tires when I needed to. I ended up breaking Emerson's tires in. I went out with yellow wheels on for my second qualifier to break in tires for Emerson.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
As pit pop. So I sacrificed one for the team there.
Was your car faster with them on?
No, not with yellow wheels. No way.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it was ugly. Ew.
But it didn't
if I had a paint job that looked good with yellow wheels, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So I'm glad I didn't make the bump because I would have just been getting out of everybody's way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
there was that time I made a mod main on carpet in Minnesota, and I ended up having to pull over halfway, or I got lapped once.
Yeah.
It was a little over halfway, but I just like...
I would have had to pull over 3 times.
Oh, yeah, it was a smaller track, too, yeah.
Well, no, it was AAA mains.
Oh.
I would have had to pull over every single main. I would have been completely in the way. I'm glad. Right. I'm glad I didn't bump. They only took 1, which is fine. Because I would have just been that guy getting out of the way every like 3 laps, probably. 40 plus. Check this out. So my goal coming into this, because I was like, okay, it's carpet. We haven't raced carpet since February. I still have my good carpet car, so I kind of was like, my car's going to be good. It was a B6.4. I know how it works. I know how it feels. So we got there Thursday, and I got third. Long story short, I got third. I was in second, and I crashed in the same spot Emerson did, but I got a faster Marshall, but Brent passed me and got back up into second. He TQ'd, and Jamie Thompson, who's really fast there, very fast pink car, X-ray car, and he pretty much, You know, the cool thing about qualifying in 40 plus was there was 3 different TQs. There was Brent, Jamie, and then Jason. And I got real close. I got second in the final qualifier, and that's how I knew I was like, you know what? I think I'm getting close.
Mm-hmm.
It took me all weekend to kind of get my car. I had to move some weight around.
Yeah.
I was underweight.
Oh.
And then I added weight, and then I got a front plate for my servo, and that helped out a ton. I took out weight that I put underneath my battery and actually put that same amount basically underneath my servo.
Mm-hmm.
Car got a lot better. And then tires. We're gonna have Emerson and I are gonna have tires for the entire syndicate.
Nice.
Because we each have like probably 7 sets of tires now. And I was afraid you'd have to go out there and new tires every time. You didn't have to do that.
Really?
The tire wear was not near as bad as I was being told.
Oh. It's probably because they've had enough people running on it.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to Brock's interview, Brock, he's like, I don't know how these guys are going out on old tires. He was going out there on new tires. Yeah.
Huh. Must be that Schumacher.
Yeah.
Schumacher wearing them out.
So here's a couple gripes that I have. And you tell me if I'm off base.
All right, I will.
Okay? And I don't normally complain about stuff, and this is not I want to preface this with it. The race was fun. I had a good time. I just have a few things that I want to get off my chest. Okay? I thought that the INS was only supposed to be a Thursday through Friday deal. Or Thursday through Sunday, I'm sorry, at most.
Yeah.
When it started, it was a Friday through Sunday, and if a track wanted to have Thursday practice, they could. Well, now this year we've had Wednesday practice. So now you got to take another whole day off of work. In this case, I didn't, because I couldn't afford it, honestly. I didn't want to. And Emerson, because that's another hotel day, a day off, a full day off of work, not getting paid. I got vacation, but I'm trying to bank it a little bit, So I just want everybody out there to know, for our race, there is no Wednesday practice. So you can show up Wednesday and you can set up your pits, and that's cool, but there will be nobody on the track Wednesday at all. And our Thursday practice is going to be 10 to 8 o'clock, and it'll be controlled practice. With the computer doing the controlled practice just like we always do. Okay?
Nice.
I actually like the heats. For Thursday, they had the heats. We all did it in heats.
Practice heats?
Practice heats.
I've been talking about practice heats for years.
Yeah. I actually did like that.
Remember that time I talked about practice heats?
I know.
Remember that time?
I do remember that time.
Remember?
So that's what we're going to do on Friday. We're going to do that on Friday. So Friday there's going to be 3 runs. There's going to be a fast controlled a fast practice heat, and then a seeding round, and then and then our qualifier. I think that's how we're going to end up doing it. I'm going to make sure that I cover this with Jason, because now that Tyler Hooks isn't kind of managing the series anymore, because he doesn't work there anymore. I'm not exactly sure who to talk to, so I'm just going to make sure that we're good on this, but I'm pretty sure that's how we're going to do it. So Thursday practice is going to be $10, just like we always do. If you're going to practice, 10 to 8, okay? And then Friday will be the part of the race where we're going to do, so it's going to be, Friday will be a more structured with the heat setup by then. Because I'm going to check everybody in on Thursday, and we'll have to check everybody in kind of before that final seeding round on Friday too, just to make sure that everybody's in there so we can get rid of people that aren't actually there. I'm going to try to have everybody paid by the 22nd. Anybody that's not on there paid by I think it's the 22nd is what I said, maybe the 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so I didn't like the Wednesday practice. When we showed up, I felt like I was already behind. The other thing is they opened up really early Thursday. So that they could get these practice heats in, which they kind of, I get it. They had to do it, but man, you know, 7 a.m. Thursday. So that we'd get there and not lose any more practice, Emerson and I had to leave our house by like 1:30. And I think the doors opened at 7. I think they started at 8, I think is what it said. I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember because I was so freaking tired Thursday. I don't even remember, like, I don't remember a lot from Thursday. So, anyways, I mean, I don't know. That sort of threw me off. I was really disappointed that they had a Wednesday practice because I already felt like we were all super behind.
Yeah. You know? Well, wasn't there people there already, like a week before the event started?
Well, they have a really good local crowd, and there's nothing wrong with that. They did close they did announce that they were closing the track to set up the layout that they were going to use, and nobody ran on that layout until Wednesday.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's definitely the way to do that.
I figured that was the case, but I just wanted to ask that question so you could answer it to shut anybody up.
Yeah. No, they
That's what I do. Like, sometimes I'll ask questions, like, just, like, it's what everybody's thinking.
Yeah.
But I already know the answer.
Yeah. So, they did a lot of things right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just feel like, no, we don't need Wednesday practice for this event. It's not the Roar Nats. It felt like the Roar Nats. The competition was there for the Roar Nats, probably even better, especially in the expert stock classes. But, dude,
the INS races are getting so big.
Yeah.
Like, they're huge events.
But, again, I know that I've talked about this before, even with Jason a while ago. Not a while ago. I think I talked about this once. We were at dinner or something like that, and he was just like, we're trying to keep this not low-key, but we're trying to keep it fun. And we're trying to keep we're trying to manage the time a little bit, you know?
Oh, I was there, yeah, in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were there with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So, anyways, our event, no Wednesday practice, none, and we're not open up till 10 on Thursday. Everybody will get enough practice, and Friday we'll probably do 9 o'clock. I'm thinking I'm gonna go through some stuff in my head, but the cool thing about this race that I did like was because again we did the qualifier on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday we were done very early, and we could go eat.
Nice.
And we got to the hotel at a reasonable time, and we got to sleep a little bit.
I think that having the practice heats, and that's the practice you get. One, it just it changes the atmosphere of the event, like, and it kind of gives equal practice to everybody. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it makes it so, like, well, these are my practice runs. You know,
right.
You can.
And I totally agree with you if they didn't have Wednesday practice.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I hear you.
It makes it more structured, so it's not just a free-for-all.
Yeah, I did like it because I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be up here in a little bit. I didn't have to, like, go wait in line or anything like that. So I did like that.
You're not going out there with a bunch of short course trucks or, you know, mini truggies or what have you.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
My only other gripe was they had, Sunday morning, was it Sunday morning? Sunday morning we had, so Emerson and I got Emerson 2 more sets of tires for his 2-wheel and his 4-wheel, and we needed to scrub them in. And practice was very early Sunday morning. And by the time we got there, we had timed it pretty good, so we got there just in time to kind of put the tires in the car and go out and get our 3-minute runs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then that was over with at like 8 o'clock. And then we just sort of sat around for an hour.
Yeah.
And I feel like instead of doing it that way, they could have just opened up the doors like an hour later and done the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Give everybody another hour, you know, of sleep or whatever in the morning instead of those of us that wanted that morning practice to have to get up so freaking early again. Those are my only gripes. And I don't normally gripe that much, but I was like, man, the early morning stuff, just ugh. And then the Wednesday practice.
There it is. Just trying to find my gears. Damn it. The one I want isn't in there.
Damn it. Time to go to Hobbytown.
No, I got some. I got more gears. There's not on this puck.
Did you hear about the stuff with mod, two-wheel mod?
No. Do tell.
Okay. I will tell. So my 40 plus main was over. I had jumped onto the mod broadcast with Matt a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And because he let me.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. So I wanted to do some mains. So after my 40 plus main was up and I went and marshaled, I just went up there and I'm like, hey man, you want some company? And so I got up there just in time to announce the two-wheel modified A2 main. And it was pretty epic. This track was sick. Like their carpet track is rad. It's probably 2 lanes deeper than ours, and a little maybe a tick wider. So it's a big carpet track. It's really fun. And then they got those wall rides, which are pretty rad. And this track layout in particular, I thought really lent itself some good racing, like really good carpet racing. You know, carpet racing can be kind of shitty sometimes. Like everybody's just in a row and there's only real one line around everything. And if you touch somebody, they're pretty much wrecked at that point. You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's tough to make passes sometimes on certain types of carpet tracks, but this one, first off, they had landings to their big jumps. So they had a big jump in front. And even though the jump face of it sort of did, if you hit it in different parts, your car would do different things sometimes.
Oh.
But it wasn't so bad it wasn't bad. It was like you had to like learn it. You had to go, okay, if I put my car here, my car is going to do this. If I'm way over here, I better hang on because my car is going to do this. So, but they had a landing to that jump, which was really nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I love carpet tracks that have landings to their jumps. They had some flat jumps. Their flat jumps were just the right height. I hate going to carpet tracks where they have single jumps that are too big with no landing, or they do weird stuff if you hit them. These guys know how to build their jumps. Every jump was super smooth. Every jump worked. There was a landing before the big wall ride that had it was a gap about, maybe like 2 inches. But we have a jump like that. One of our jumps landings has a little gap to the floor. And I've noticed that if I put it in certain corners where you're trying to set up for the corner on the downside of that ramp before you hit that little gap, that gap will cause your car to do weird stuff sometimes and crash and flip. You remember that? You raced on that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I use that jump differently now, or I put a piece of wood to make it all the way flat. It's one of the jumps I actually got to repair this coming up season before we get going again.
Mm-hmm.
But where that jump was at, you had to be aware of it. So at first it was throwing me and Emerson off. Like we were crashing there all the time because we were so used to when you get on the downside, you just gun it and you go, Rup. Well, you couldn't do that there because that little gap, that little extra little gap would make your car bottom out and then you'd crash. So Tom Rennernecht jumped the whole thing. His car, he could jump that whole thing. He was jumping into the wall and going up. He was super fast. And at first he was the only one doing it. And then I saw Davey Bottas started to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And a few guys, other guys tried it. And I think they just weren't comfortable with it maybe, or they just said, it's not my line. So they didn't do it. But I got real used to making sure I wasn't on the gas till I was past that little gap. Okay. The turn before that though, this really awesome, fun chicane. You went around, there was a flat jump with a flat landing into a corner. And last lap, Tom had passed Brock on the wall. Brock passed him back on the straightaway. The next the next lap, last lap, Brock was in front of him. He knew Tom was going to had to try. So there's only 3 corners left. So Brock jumped, landed, and started to make the turn. And I think he was trying to defend the inside part of that corner, so he jumped it short a little bit, is what I think. And Tom was in the air when he landed. He got into Brock from the back, touched him. Brock spun around. He didn't need a marshal, but his car got knocked out of the way and spun around. And then Tom just zipped by and zipped and went on for the win.
Huh.
Well, so because
how'd that go?
So Tom had already won A1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So because Mod was there with video and they had replay, they replayed it and they had a conference, which I was so funny because they were asking me what to do. And I'm like, dude, mine's next month, man. Leave me out of this one. I'm not saying shit because I don't. First off, I'm biased, obviously, because Tom's one of our hobbyplexers, you know, but also like just
give it to Tom.
I didn't want a piece. I was like, I didn't want a piece, but I did
Brock
say,
won't mind.
I said, here's the thing with me. Usually if I hope that I would have said, oh, you need to give me that spot back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which I've done. I've actually done to Tom. I did that last year. Him and Ryan Cavallari got together, and I said, Tom, you got to give Ryan that spot back. I would hope that if I saw something like, if I was announcing and I saw something like that, and it was a judgment call, I would hope that I would say at the time. And if I didn't, there's probably a reason for it. Like a lot of times when we've had the pros race at our track, I've sort of, unless it's just really bad, like just like a clean, you know, punch through type thing, I tend to let him race. I tend to let it finish the way it finishes, personally. But I have called, spot backs when I see them. You know,
right.
And full disclosure, there's been times where I've seen them and I've been like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
you can't police everything. They on that level.
Yeah.
You know.
But this was the last lap, and because Tom was behind him and not beside him, Matt and I were kind of talking about this on the broadcast. It's like one of those things where if Tom would have been on the inside of him and they had gotten to the corner pretty much at the same point and touched, and that happened, I don't think anything would have changed. But because Tom was behind him, they ended up making the call to give Brock the win. And they changed the time to like point. I'm looking at it right now. 1907.8 to 852 to 19 point. God damn it! I'm looking at the wrong thing. 19 at 507.437 to 19 at 507.852. So half a second. And they did that again because now you're talking tiebreakers, and it's about time.
Mm-hmm.
So they tried to make it. The explanation was that they made it so like if that didn't happen and Brock and where they were at close to that point, that's how close they would have been in their estimation.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it was one of those things where I don't think you can argue that wasn't the right thing to do, I guess.
No, that's definitely like if you're gonna give a spot back. I mean, that's ultimately they could have just sent Tom to the back. You know, some places do that.
Yeah,
it could have been a lot worse. If anything, that's just better. So
here's the other thing. I started looking up the roar rule because I remember in 2009. Remember were you there when Mayfield? Were you there in 2009?
Oh.
Remember when Mayfield ran to the back of Jared?
Oh yeah.
On the last lap, and Cavallari went by for the win to win the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they docked Mayfield time.
Yeah.
So I remember
they docked him 15 seconds.
Yeah, I remember that specifically. And Mayfield was ticked off, but I mean he did kind of. I mean they know what they did. I don't have to rehash that part of it. So if you're looking at what the roar rule would have been, I feel like it would have been the penalty would have been like worse.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, I mean, it says that they'll follow like ROAR rules for motors and tech and stuff like that, but you know, they did the right thing. They pretty much made it a level playing field again at that point. So Tom had to win, Brock had to win. A-main number 3 was wild. Tom drove his butt off and ended up winning that one and ended up winning the whole thing. And then he won 4-wheel too. So Tom Runenecht had a 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive sweep.
That's pretty insane.
Dude.
Like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the kid put in the work there and it really showed. His car was really good. Like really good. I asked Emerson if he felt bad about not changing his X-ray over. But we would have had to have bought $100 gear diff.
The gear diff for that car is $100?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like, if I was gonna make somebody a gear diff, I would charge more than $100. But like, you know what I mean? If I had to like make all the gears, I mean, for what it is, I mean, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
But still, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's still $100. So, you know, if you think of it that way, like, imagine if you had to make one, how much that gear diff would cost? That'd be like a $1,000 diff.
Yeah.
Like if somebody handmade you one. Having a tool maker with the experience to make gears like that and like actually have them work and all that stuff seal. Like imagine how much one would cost.
Yeah.
So it's like then you think about it like, okay, I'm paying $100 for this diff. Like I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I think about that kind of stuff. Like, you know, people are like, okay, like the J Concepts tool stand $70, and they like, oh man, that thing's cool, but it's $70. I'm like, well, imagine if you had to make this. Like, if you made one, you'd have like way more than an hour labor in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Then they start looking at it different. I'm like, dude, this is trick. Like, and it for what it is, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Eric Jarman was going to sell us his 2023 X-Ray car, and it had the gear diff with it.
Ooh,
and so
nice.
I actually thought that just buying the car and stealing the diff out of it and then putting a ball diff in it and then reselling the car would have been a smart play, but we ended up getting the B6 Ford carpet version instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Emerson likes it a lot, so
yeah.
I don't know. I think it worked out, but X-Ray really had a pretty big push this weekend.
Oh, Tom did well. You know,
Tom.
I mean,
they're
nice they're nice cars. They're just expensive because I mean they don't sell a ton of them like everybody else does.
Yeah.
You know?
Jake Wiggs did really good.
Yeah.
Jake.
What cars does he run?
He just switched over to X-Ray.
Oh, okay,
like 2 weeks ago.
Huh. So is like X-Ray sponsoring people or?
Yeah. Jake's an X-Ray kid.
Huh.
I mean, so is Andrew and Dalton.
Right, I knew that.
Yeah.
Well, good for them.
And Tyler Patnout, he was there. He was doing really good this weekend, especially in I think 4-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they had a pretty big push at this race for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a good experience. We learned a lot. Emerson and I both really worked on our cars. You know what I like about Emerson? I'm gonna tout my own son here, but he works on his own stuff.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't really he'll bounce ideas off of me and we'll talk about stuff, but ultimately he'll decide what to do to his car.
Mm-hmm. I struggle with that. I mean, I'm like anymore. It's just like I'm gonna learn something not to do or learn something to do.
Yeah.
Like,
we started off practicing. We set up some of the jumps Monday and Tuesday, so we could drive on carpet a little bit. And he broke his 4-wheel drive low-C buggy twice.
Oh.
And we didn't. Luckily, we have an extra car, thanks to Mr. Grieve. On here, if he's on here, I don't think he's on here right now. But
what, Smoking Rat?
Yeah. Yep. But we got a 22X4 from him, and luckily there was a shock tower on it, because otherwise no more practice. We wouldn't have been able to practice that Thursday because nobody had one.
He gave you a car, or he let you borrow one?
No, yeah, I got it from him.
Huh, that's cool.
He got a car and he said he wasn't gonna run it, so I got it from him. It all worked out.
Huh.
I was pretty happy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. That kind of wraps up that. I was kind of annoyed. I don't know if I should bring this up or not, but I was kind of annoyed because sometimes during the day, like, we were getting yelled at.
Oh.
On the,
yelled at in an off-road RC car race? No way.
And it was one of those things where I was like, why are we yelling at the drivers on the driver's stand for something that's not really a big deal? Like, I would understand if somebody was legitimately trying to get an extra lap. So they would hold our cars, and then they would say the track is open, and we would get one lap, and they'd say the track is closed, okay, which is fine. I was setting my car down, and then I was getting on the driver's stand, and then I was running my car maybe 15 to 20 feet in front of that to the tabletop, and then turning around so I could get out of everybody's way, because I don't like to go first. There's guys that, like, when the track's open, and they'll be the first ones to yeet out of there.
Oh, yeah.
And I never do that.
Fully yeet.
I never do that. I always want to be like one of the last ones. I want to spread myself out. I want to have some space. I want to make sure my steering's straight. You know, I want to do all this stuff before we get going, because we only have one lap.
I like to be by myself.
So I wasn't going. I definitely was not going any further than that spot, because you couldn't. Like, there was a jump with a flat back end to it.
Mm-hmm.
So and at one point we got yelled at and told that we're trying to screw around and get an extra lap.
Quit screwing around.
Yeah, and that was not even remotely close to the thing, and so I was kind of annoyed by that. And I get it, as a race director, I get it. It can be very, very stressful. But, like, I also kind of reset. You remember when I kind of reset myself?
Oh yeah, I can tell. You're definitely reset right now.
No, I'm saying seriously, like back in like 2016, 17, where I kind of like took a look at the way that I was doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that it showed, because we weren't getting the turnouts that we used to get. And I was worried that I was like, it was me, like I was turning people off. Maybe my attitude was part of it.
Right. You're like, maybe I'm the problem.
Maybe I'm the problem. Right. And so I don't think I've gotten lax. I just think that there's certain things that you can, you know, like if I'm mad about something at the track, like somebody not marshaling, like that's like, to me, that's a legitimate thing to be ticked off over the mic, especially over the mic, about like calling somebody out on the mic. Especially if it's the same person over and over again and they know better, or they're trying to sneak out, that I totally understand. But there's certain things where I don't see the point. And especially if it really isn't slowing your program down. And the crappy thing about it is, it can bring a good experience, what should be a good experience and a fun getaway for a weekend, into just total, like, why am I here? I don't want to be here. Like that time at Blue Groove, remember that? Remember me talking about that with you?
Oh yeah.
How I got yelled at for walking in early, like legitimately just screamed at for walking in early. I didn't know that wasn't a thing. I saw the door was open. I saw Phil inside. I'm like, oh, sweet. And I got yelled at, and that pretty much ruined the whole weekend for me.
Yeah, you were like, I can just go home.
I can just go home. You know, why am I here? That's how I started to feel. And then it toned down. I don't know if somebody said something, or I don't know if it just sort of worked itself out, but it started to get very, very irritating, and then it sort of mellowed out. Mm-hmm. And so it was one of those things where I'm like, should I even talk about this or not? But I think sometimes sometimes you got to remember, and this is why I give people time if they break. Okay? I'm never going to do the 20-minute thing again like I did that one year. Okay? That's too much.
Wait, what? You did 20 minutes one time?
Yeah, I gave a long time at one of our Pro Tech races.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember when Alberico's kid broke?
Yeah, I remember
that was a little long, okay? I fully admit that was a little long.
I remember that.
Okay? Never going to do that again. But
it was like they broke once and then they broke again or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was on the driver's stand. I remember that.
Yeah, okay. So I'm not going to do that again. But I will give a little bit of leeway because this is how I think about things. You got a bunch of people that are at your track, okay? In my instance, I spent $180 in entry fees between Emerson and me. Okay?
Right.
I bought about $300 worth of tires.
Mm-hmm.
I spent $500 at the hotel.
Yeah.
I spent $100 in gas. Mm-hmm. Actually, $110 in gas. And then I spent another probably $100 something in food. And I bought this sucks, but I bought $180 in parts from that place.
Yeah.
Which I work at a hobby store and I get stuff at cost. So that hurt even more. Okay?
Yeah.
So I spent a shit ton of money to go to this race. Don't yell at me for something trivial. Please don't.
I mean, we get it. Like, sometimes the race director is a thankless job, and maybe you're just upset that people aren't appreciating you. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to put a different perspective on it. But if you're listening right now, you have to remember that these guys are there because they want to be, and they could not want to be there very quickly.
If I was not marshaling, if I wasn't hustling out there, flipping over cars when they crashed or something like that, that's my thing. I would totally get that, and I would call that person out. I wouldn't do it in a dickish way, but I'd make my voice heard, I guess. But I mean, there's a level that I feel like that can be maintained, and then there's going over the top a little bit. And it got close. It got really close. So, again, just keep that in mind for the next one, in my opinion. If I was to give stars, like a Google rating, I'd still give the place a 5-star, for sure. So,
yeah, 10 out of 10 would race again.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 would race again.
Just don't yell at us.
Yeah, just don't yell at me.
Unless you have to. Unless it's deserved, yell at me. But
yeah.
If it's not, don't.
Exactly.
I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what you're doing. You could have been trying to totally sneak in an extra lap, as far as I
definitely was not trying to do that. I was just making sure that my steering was straight and that I was out of the way.
Hey, speak for yourself. I'm just trying to cover my own answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just trying to be funny. I'm sure Alex wasn't trying to sneak in an extra lap.
Yeah.
I've known Alex a long time. He's definitely not the guy that would be trying to get an extra lap. That's for sure. Nope. Not that guy.
Not that guy. Jason Haley says, now throw in a plug for your race director services. Yeah, I don't know.
Jason Haley's on here?
Yeah, Jason Haley's on here.
Hey, Jason.
Hello, Jason Haley.
Hope he's doing well.
Yeah.
I thought about him the other day. I saw a pinball machine because he's into pinball machines.
I thought I saw a picture of his new place.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I meant to text him, but I've just been really busy. I hope he understands.
Yeah.
I'd like to get that oval trailer going. That's my next thing. So I can finish last at all these races and look good doing it, that's dude, I'm so pissed. Not pissed. It's just I'm so typical,
Yeah. I mean, we all have
Ruined
bad
my
races,
phones.
dude.
Huh?
We all have bad races.
Right. I know. I want to have good races.
No, I know.
Like, I want to have nothing but good. Can I have nothing but good races, please? Dude, oval's tough, man. You guys, people knock it like it's easy. No. Nope. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever race.
It's definitely hard when you're racing with people that do this on the track.
Dude, it's even when you gotta have your stuff right, man. You gotta come out swinging.
I know.
Like there's no there. You got a whole day of practice. You got a day of practice, dude. I got 2 packs. I got 2 battery packs. That's it. And guess what? If I didn't run one car twice, I would have only ran one car one time.
I hear you.
Like, you guys knock it, say it's
I
dumb.
I used to
say it's dumb. I used to say it's dumb. I used to say, you know what I said? No, I better not say it. But I used to knock it. I was like, why do people race oval? Like, I don't get it, dude. You couldn't do it. You have that mentality. Like, nah, it's not for everybody.
I get it. No, I totally get it. I don't knock it.
Mm-hmm.
There's not too many forms. There's not too many forms of RC that I'm of the mindset that I feel like it's totally stupid anymore.
Dude, it doesn't matter who you are or how fast you've been. Like, anybody can win on any given day if they put the work in and they got their stuff working good. Like, if somebody's got their stuff working good, look out. Like, it's gonna be tough to beat that guy. This guy's stuff working good.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah. I hope I didn't come across as negative, super negative.
Yeah, no more than usual.
I got to tell you that they had like 50-cent brownies, 75-cent like cookie things. They made this like triple layer brownie brookie. Oh, it's called a brookie. Duh. They made a brookie and it was $2, I think. And I could have eaten those all day long.
$2. How many milligrams were they?
They were big. Yeah. Yeah. Right. They had a lot of homemade confectionery foods there, and nice. I have very, very low willpower for those sort of things. So,
man, I started shaking. I had to put a couple of patches on. Like, had a brownie patch.
Yeah. Their food truck was good. I had these loaded fries. It was with pulled pork. It was awesome.
What were they? They were loaded with pulled pork.
Yeah, pulled pork, barbecue sauce, cheese, and they were French fries. They were awesome.
How much were they? Like $40?
I was cheap, so I got the $9 thing. But they had like brisket. It was same price as like what Tilly's does.
Yeah, my favorite's like, oh my god, you got to try the new like food truck, and it's like the food from the new food truck, and it's like 2 pieces of brisket, like a little tiny, like coleslaw, 2 pickles, and a piece of bread, and it's like $40.
No, it wasn't that bad. It was the food truck had decent prices for their stuff. There was a breakfast place that morning, Sunday morning, that I had a toasted quesadilla. It was like $8.50, and I got a whole bunch of eggs and bacon on it.
That's not bad.
That was delicious, actually. I was really happy to do that.
That's all reasonable prices.
Yeah. I slept for 2 hours in my truck in the parking lot Sunday morning after I had my quesadilla.
That reminds me of that time we went to Rockford or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sleeping in your truck in between rounds.
Yep.
And had your buggy sitting on the dash with the heater going full blast on your tires.
Yep.
Yeah. Those were the days.
Yep. Exactly.
Dude, my tire warmers quit working this weekend.
Oh no.
I have to get a new one, I guess. I don't know. I wonder if you can get just the box. Can you get just the box?
I'll have to look. I'll look when I get home.
Yeah, mine quit going big time. I was like, can anything go right? Like, it was just like one of those. It's one of those things. Like, oh boy, something else. Thank you, God. Like.
So what's next for you? You said King of what? King of Kansas?
King of Dirt, but I was gonna do like Thunder on the Plains and Grand Island probably.
Okay.
I mean, why not? I think Doug Gott goes to that one, so we'll see.
Okay.
I don't know. Hopefully, I'm like more prepared, like for an outdoor race.
Yeah. I'm pretty
wrenching my butt off here.
I'm pretty tapped But I think Emerson and I are going to have enough tires to do the last round of the summer series on the 29th, and then our INS race July 15th, and then after that, we'll see how the remodel goes. Emerson and I kind of want to go to this 8-scale race in St. Louis, August something.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes.
I have King of Dirt in August, whenever that is, but also, what is it, in September? I have to go. I'm going to IMTS. It's a big like machine tool trade show, where there's like all of like the new equipment from all these different vent manufacturers, like the brand new stuff. Like there's like $4 million machines at this event.
Oh,
It's pretty
man.
cool. Yeah. So I get to go to that. So it'll be pretty cool. It's in Chicago.
Our regionals. So I agreed to hold the Roar regionals. They are going to be the 14th. So September
Nice.
13th and 14th, which would traditionally be our summer series finals. But I'm not pretty sure. That's the weekend we're having them, because the following weekend is the Hobby Haven race. And then the weekend after that is the Hoosier race.
Yeah.
So September is going to be tight, but we should be back up and running by then. I think that's enough time.
Hobby Haven would be cool.
Hobby Haven would be cool. That's something I forgot to mention. I was going to go race. Here's the plan. I was going to get off at 2:00. Actually, 3:00. 3:00 on Wednesday. And then I was going to drive to Des Moines, because Emerson and I were like, well, if we drive all the way there, I had to work till 3. It'll be 7:30. Like, there was no way we'd make Wednesday practice. So I was going to go race at Hobby Haven with my vintage car.
There you go.
And then I was going to spend the night with somebody. Mac offered me a room, and then
Nice.
my brother-in-law actually lives in Chelsea, which is about an hour away. So we probably would have went with my brother-in-law's house, but
just because family, yeah.
And it's closer, so in the morning it wouldn't have been as long of a drive to get to the track. Well, long story short, they got rained out again.
All right.
I'm bummed out.
Long story boring.
I still haven't been able to race my vintage car.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
Yeah, race your vintage car.
Yeah. So I'm sad. One of these Wednesdays. Yeah.
Right.
And it's not going to be, I can't go July, whatever that day is, 3rd, right, because that's the track build. They're doing the first Wednesday of the month, and those first Wednesdays of the month are the days that I have off early. Normally I close on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I specifically asked for those Wednesdays off early, and so yeah, I'm sure they're going to reschedule it for this Wednesday, and I can't go. I have to work.
Dang it.
I have to work all day.
Dang it.
Yeah.
That dirty 4-letter word called work.
And rain. Two dirty 4-letter words. Yeah. So. All right. Well, this has been I hope you guys don't think that for me this was just a Festivus podcast. I didn't want it to come across that way, but
what's Festivus mean?
You ever Seinfeld?
I don't like Seinfeld.
Oh.
It's a show about nothing. Badoop boop. So how do we know when it's over? Badoop boop. Badoop bow.
There's an episode. It's like a Christmas episode, but instead of celebrating Christmas, they celebrate Festivus. And one of the things in Festivus is airing of grievances.
Oh.
So you're all sitting around the table together.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways.
I never saw that episode, but I know vaguely about the pop culture reference.
Okay.
So that's something I'm usually pretty good at, is pop culture references, but I don't know. I mean, people like Seinfeld. That's cool. I just never watched it. Like, I don't know.
It's on Netflix, isn't it?
I'm not gonna watch it. I haven't watched it this point. Why would I start now?
I'm not like a Seinfeld connoisseur, but I should write down some episodes for you to watch.
Okay.
That are legitimately funny, and you'd probably get a kick out of them.
I mean, they probably are. I don't know. It's you got to remember, like when I was old enough to start watching Seinfeld, that's when Kramer was doing stand up. So like I just was like,
yeah. Dude, he was on The View the other day. Did you see? You know that?
Oh no, I didn't
He's
know that.
he's got a book out, like a memoir.
Huh, that's nice of him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was. I remember like, oh, why would I ever watch Seinfeld if that guy's on it? But that was just that was the way. What was that? That was like 2008 when that happened. So like that was just the way I thought.
Yeah.
Why would I watch
There's
that?
there's an episode of comedians getting coffee.
Oh
Seinfeld.
yeah,
And
right.
he's on
Cars and Coffee.
Yeah, Mike Richardson. He's on one of those. You should watch that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Let's go through the comments. Comments. It's been a while since we've been on, so curious to see what we got on here. I know there's not too much going on. We had Peter Renault on here, obviously a longtime Patreon member. Steve RC, John Haas, Aisha's on here. Aisha Wint. Anthony
Nice.
Santee, AJ RC Racing, Jake Wiggs Racing. Aisha says she feels like cola being one of the flavors in the 23 flavors is cheating.
Yeah, because what does cola taste like?
Cola tastes like cola.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't it like a cola bean or something? I don't know.
I always figured it was just corn syrup and mixed with water and
brown and water.
Yeah,
it's just brown water. Kind of like gravy.
Oppo edits. Is there any races this weekend? There is Friday night, Family Friday Off-Road going on this weekend. No Saturday racing because we're doing a parade in Papillion Days parade, which I forgot to mention that. I need some people to join me at the Papillion Days parade to run their RC cars in the parade with us. We have to dress. Yeah. We have to dress in red, white, and blue.
Huh.
And yeah, we the plan is to have an X-Max pulling a jump, and the cars will jump over the X-Max.
Huh.
And we might even have an X-Max jumping an X-Max. So, yeah. So cool. If you're on here and you're
going to stop and you can do a bunch of jumps and then
probably
keep going?
Yeah, probably.
Don't hit anybody.
So I think we're only going to be. I think it's only like maybe an hour walk total. So it's not like blowing your whole morning. But
an hour.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have
walk
some.
For an hour.
I'm gonna have some of our.
These are RC guys.
Come on, I can walk for an hour. Whatever.
You mean you want me to walk for an hour?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I talked over you and make you not want to talk.
No, it's fine. No, not at all.
I'm just trying to be funny.
I'm just saying that we need some people out there to help promote Hobbytown so we can get new people into our store and stay open and stuff.
You had me till it was walk for an hour. An hour.
Yeah, but you're driving an RC car at the same time, and you get to jump stuff.
Dude, you should totally get like some of those Tamiya like rally cars that people like run behind while they're driving.
I want to do that so bad. You have no idea how bad I want to do that. I want to form like some sort of club on top of everything else that I do. But I think it'd be really fun. I think it'd be really fun to have like a small club of dedicated Tamiya rally people that we go around a bunch of parks and we have these rally courses and we just run behind our car the whole time.
Oh yeah.
I think it'd be
cool.
I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd
be a good exercise.
That too. For sure.
As long as it's not an hour.
Steve RC says the Tom Brock thing is a really hard one with technology advances. Tom clearly hit Brock. However, Brock didn't show any real frustration after. Yeah, he did. His face, on the driver's stand, he on the driver's stand, he kind of like smirked and chuckled a little bit, and then he went and asked the race director if that was okay to do what to have what happened happen. So,
yeah, The race is over. Time to go complain about it.
Yeah, his frustration. These guys do way better job than I do when stuff happens to them. Like I was very vocal when I crashed this weekend. I got to watch that. I'm so bad about that.
Were you like Tourette's guy?
No, but like
Bob
okay.
Saget.
My mod 2-wheel drive main, Emerson gave me the worst marshal of the entire weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It was Emerson.
Wait, oh,
Emerson. Yeah. I crashed that jump I was talking about, the gap. I crashed there in my main because I was frustrated already because I'd crashed 2 crashes earlier than that, and I was upside down. And Emerson was staring off into space, and that was his spot. And I am on the stand going, Emerson, Emerson, Emerson. And he finally looked at me like, "What are you yelling at me for?" And I said, "Dude." I pointed at my car and he turned around. So I probably said, I think that lap was like 26 seconds. It was horrible. Emerson gave me the worst marshal of the whole weekend.
Nice.
But I was loud. I didn't mean to be loud, but I kind of was loud. So I apologize to all the people that I was loud about. But
well, at least you guys can talk about it on the ride home, you know?
Yeah, no, it was really funny. Because he didn't like his marshal either in his race, but I didn't give it to him. But he's like, well, at least, or no, him and Andrew actually got together to start a 4-wheel drive. And what Emerson told me, he goes, I don't know if I should say this. He goes, well, at least we both got our races ruined by somebody we know.
That's funny.
Steve continues, it seemed only after Matt showed the slow-mo that the result was in question. Yeah, I mean, the original thing that I heard was, hey, there's probably going to be a protest on that, and that's kind of where it went from there. It is crazy though. I tried to find the Roar rules on driving incidents, and I couldn't find any clear Roar rules.
There's something about like LiveRC will be used for a review or something like that, and at one time didn't it read like LiveRC will not be used for a review?
It did at one time, and then somebody cut the track at like I think the gas nats one time. That was really egregious. Like it was like a third of the track, and went on to take the bump spot. And then they complained about it, and they said, dude, it's on video. The guy cut the track, and the guys wouldn't go back to fix it because they didn't have any clear rules on whether or not they could do that in the first place. This is a little different, but again, yeah, I couldn't really find much in there. There was a thing on rough driving, but it was under the 5th scale rules.
Yeah.
It wasn't under the electric off-road rules section, so it's weird. It's just very, very weird. It's something maybe they need to look at. I don't know if I want to be the guy to email Roar and be like, "Hey man, you need to check for a rule on this," because I know how it works, and you get like the competition director just gets email after email after email after email of all these little things that people want you to like look at and clarify and change, and some of them go against each other, so it's just like ugh.
Yeah, now what?
Yeah. Anthony says, we talking about practice? Steve RC says, Hoosier already has their schedule and says no practice on Wednesday. So that's cool. That's good. Because I was, we're going to that race too. And I'm like, oh, that one I probably would have to take a Wednesday off.
Right. Which one's that?
The Hoosier. The INS finals.
Nice. So they must leave that up to the track then.
Well, I mean, I'll have to go back and look at the guidelines. There's a guideline sheet that we get. I'm going to go back and look at it because I could have swore it said Thursday practices up to the track. Anthony Santi says it was really cool seeing Schumacher versus X-Ray in both Mod A mains instead of the usual TLR versus AE.
Yeah.
Very few TLR cars, although I will say Nate Sutherland and Austin. They were two. Dude, this one dude, Austin, he if I'm getting that name right, gosh darn it. I know we're getting close to going pretty long here, but Where's that result at? 2-wheel drive expert. Aaron Mitchell. That dude's fast. He's from Cedar Rapids. He races at Crash and Bash. Usually that's like his home track, I think. He's been to our place once. This last winter. And dude, he was really fast this weekend, and he's running TLR stuff. His TLR stuff looked really good.
Nice.
Yeah, Jovi Levin won all 3 of the spec classes. So expert stock, expert 4-wheel, and truck.
Mm-hmm.
And Jovi's associated. Doug's associated. Aaron's TLR. Little Bump, Fee Long, he was there. He TQ'd 2-wheel, I'm pretty sure. He's running Schumacher. Pat Now's X-Ray. Jake is X-Ray. Nate is TLR. Levi's associated. I don't know what Kalis was running. I want to say he was Schumacher. And then Kyle, of course, Kyle Holmberg did really good again, too. He made all the mains. And, of course, he's associated. So, yeah, there was a very good rundown of cars in all the classes, really. And there's some epic mains. Like go back and watch the mains. It's actually kind of fun to watch. I was out fishing today, and as I was out fishing, I had the live stream going again from about the 40 plus main on, and I just left it running because it was so entertaining how these races were. There's some pretty epic last lap passes. Braden Koob, the kid from Sioux City, he's raced with us a bunch, and he's raced down in Kansas at Pit Stop a few times too. Dude, he last lap passes, dude. At one point, he was like 10 seconds behind, and then he caught him and then passed him on the last lap, like halfway through the lap. But it was clean. It was awesome. Got to the corner first, maybe touched him, but didn't like wreck him. But it was clean, and it was crazy. It was really good. Jason Haley says he's still building. Subs down here suck. I think he's talking about subcontractors.
Oh. Dang it.
Yeah. And then, now we got a bunch of comments now. He's been thinking about 8 scale, nothing for racing down here, says Jason Haley.
Yeah. It's too bad there's not an oval track down there,
Yeah. I wonder how far away from Chicken Dinner he is, though. Chicken Dinner Raceway?
What's that?
It's an 8-scale track, big 8-scale track. It's called It's called Chicken Dinner. Winner, chicken dinner.
Do they have chicken there?
I don't know. Never been there.
You should go there for the food and then stay to race. If they don't have chicken, they must get people pulling up there all the time. Like, yeah, we're here for dinner. Like, where's the chicken?
Where's the chicken at?
Yeah.
Dave Merlo wants to know if I'm not coming to Hobby. I can't this Wednesday. Got to work. I only get that first race off, and if it doesn't happen, then I can't go. Jason Black said I didn't come off negative at all. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that because I was worried about that.
Good.
Jason Haley, his book should have been a table. That would have been epic. What's he talking about? Anyways. Bill Grieve was on here. He's putting in a window air conditioner this weekend. Happy to have it again. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. That's pretty cool. Sorry, Bill. I'm trying to get through comments fast because we're running really long. We haven't been on for a month, so it always runs long. RC Cola and RC Cars. Shasau, Lucas.
The official cola of toy car racing.
Yeah, pretty much. That and Busch Light.
Yeah. Yes, and it's a taste of people that don't run. Yeah, it's the taste of people that don't walk for an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
Gravy soda sounds gross, says Aisha.
What?
Gravy.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Carbonated gravy.
Carbonated gravy? What?
Refreshing.
isn't there a cola company that makes like
Jones Soda?
Don't they make some sort of gravy cola or something like that?
They have the Thanksgiving
or like
one.
mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah, it's like on a hot Thanksgiving morning, I reach for a cool, refreshing glass of carbonated gravy.
Lucas Shawsell says that rally car stuff is for the young. 40 plus rally car has torn ACL all over it.
For heart attacks.
Yeah.
Ow.
Jason Haley, great 911 call. I was chasing my toy car and fell down. Can you unplug my lipo?
Yeah. 911, what's your emergency? I was running behind my RC car and died.
Jason Haley also chimes in a little bit on the whole A2 of mod. He says you could hear Matt after the race. I can show you that on video. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Matt was trying to insert himself into it, but I think he was letting him know that, hey guys, I do have replay. Like, we've got replay of this now. You can actually see what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Steve RC wants to know if it's Little Bump's first 10 scale race. That's what I understood. That's what Jason was. Jason posted about Fee, TQ and Two Wheel, and then somebody made a real negative comment, and Jason's like, normally I'd agree, but he's never raced 10th scale before. He's only raced 8 scale.
It was like he didn't race mod. He raced
mod too. He raced expert stock and mod 2 wheel.
Oh, expert stock. Well, at least he ran expert stock.
Yeah, I mean,
what are you gonna do?
Dude, there's some guys in expert stock getting paid, and they didn't even make the A main. So,
right,
that's why there's expert stock and independent at these INS races.
No, I mean that's probably the class he should have been in.
Wig says the racing was definitely intense this year. Like I said, Jake did amazing this weekend. There was another time where Matt had to intervene. He told RD second place. Yeah, I was announcing that race. That's where there was a car in independent 2 wheel. There was a car between the lead car and Braden Koob. And Brandon Koob? Shit, am I getting that name wrong? God, I hope not. Koob is I'm so terrible with names that sometimes I feel really, really bad. Like I screw it up. Where are you at? Do. Independent 2 wheel. Yeah, no, Braden Koob. Okay, I got it right. But there was a car in between them, and then there was like 3 laps where they weren't moving to let the leader go. And Matt kind of said something, and I kind of agree with Matt there on that one. Like you got to call it the leaders, get him through. Jason Haley says chicken dinner is about 2.5 hours. May as well go to KC. Okay, well, there you go. JW Smart RC says, hello from world famous Silver Bowl in Vegas. Steve Wall says there is a huge chicken coop there. So, yes, there are hundreds of chickens at Chicken Dinner Raceway. That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's great. That's cool. He says the track is legit 8 scale. Yes, it is. It's a big 8 scale track for sure. They've always had good layouts too. Every time I look at a layout there, it's a real fun big 8 scale layout.
Do they sell like chicken strips there? Or?
I don't know.
Dude, Jason would be all over it. That guy loves chicken strips.
Oh, Jason, that was a Kramer reference. Ah, dang. Kramer created a book that unfolded into a table in case you don't have a table. It was a tabletop book.
Oh, that's nice.
That was from a Seinfeld episode. I'm dumb. Peter chimes in. He says bacon soda. Yes, I believe I know that there's that. JW Smart says also the home of Silver State. That's true. Emerson wants to go to that race next year, so we'll see.
Silver State?
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we got another one in, don't you?
Yeah, probably.
Your internet got a whole lot better too, by the way. You haven't been doing that it hasn't been doing that weird frizzy thing ever since the start of the show. So
you don't say.
Everything worked out fine.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Can we be the A team?
Sure.
Nice.
Can I be Mr. T?
No, I want to be Mr. T. I want to pity the fool.
Pity the fool.
Yeah, I want to be pitying fools.
You know, I honestly
It's a
don't.
full-time job, you
I
know.
don't. I don't remember the names of the A team now.
Oh, I just remember Mr. T. And
That
the
show.
old that old guy with the cigar be like, I love it when a plan
Oh
comes
God, what's
together.
that show is so long. I watched that show.
We're the A team.
Yeah. Oh, Hannibal. Yes. That's right.
Actor?
No, the one of the characters was named Hannibal.
Oh, nice. Did he eat people?
And Murdoch. Murdoch was the dude. Isn't? Hey, Richard, are you on here?
I am.
I'm trying to get us done, but the dude that played Murdoch, isn't he? What's his name from Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
He is.
Can't remember his name, but
why am I blanking on this?
He's the one who had sexual fantasies in the holodeck.
In the holodeck, he was. Yeah,
About
he had a
Troy.
Yeah. Who hasn't?
Yeah, who hasn't?
he had a holodeck psychosis.
Holodeck psychosis.
Ding.
Man, if I was alive in a time where there actually was holodeck psychosis, that would be amazing.
Oh, I'd be in there all the time.
I mean, you can kind of do it now with VR in a way.
It's not the same.
Yeah, I know. It isn't the same.
Nah.
All right, let's get out of here. See these guys and go home. I appreciate my sister and my brother-in-law for the Weberized studio.
The Weberized crew.
And the time that we get.
Bring it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. All right, well, we're going to figure out when we're on again sometime in, what do you think? After the INS race in July?
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, or I don't know. We could maybe get another one in before that if you want. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see how busy we are with the remodel, too. Hopefully it doesn't cut into my night curricular activities like this one. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Barclay. It was Barclay. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve RC. I should know that because I have like 3 Barclays in my Star Trek timelines on my phone.
Nice.
I forget stuff pretty easily, though. All right. Well, once again, this was a good one. Will Brinton, thank you for being my pal and my co-host here at the Hobbyplex Show. RC podcast, I guess, is what we are now.
Yeah. It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good group of guys, you know.
That's true.
Hmm.
All right. Well, we'll catch you later.
Yeah, we'll see you later, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.